The galaxy was calm. Trade ships moved between stars. Alien empires ruled their space. Peace was rare, but for now, everything was quiet. Then the signal came. It started as a low hum. A strange vibration passed through deep space. At first, it was just background noise, but soon every communication device on every planet began to shake. Across thousands of worlds, screens turned black. Then one word appeared in bright red letters. Terra. No one understood it. Not at first. But the fear came quickly. In the Galactic Council Hall, an ancient place where the leaders of the most powerful species met, alarms screamed. Old sensors activated that had not moved in 10,000 years. High Lord Zorak of the Krell Empire stood from his chair. "This cannot be," he whispered. Beside him, Ambassador Nelwyn of the Mindkin trembled. We destroyed that place, didn't we? Long ago?" A silence fell over the room. Commander Vel of the Cyrex clicked his metal fingers. The records were deleted, but the name, it is the same. Across the galaxy, chaos began. Ships were recalled. Borders were locked. War fleets moved into position, not to fight each other, but to prepare for something worse. Someone asked, "What is Terra?" No one had a full answer, but they all felt it. Fear. Deep, ancient fear. In the council hall, an old AI system came to life. Dust fell from its speakers. A robotic voice echoed. "Warning, planet Terra has reawakened. All life forms advised to maintain distance. Level Omega threat detected. Omega, the highest threat level in the known galaxy, only used once before. The last time it was also Terra." Ambassador Nelwyn looked around. "Why is this word still in our system if the planet is gone?" Commander Vel answered, "Because something told us to never forget, even when we deleted the records, even when we buried the truth." "Can we see it?" someone asked. "Should we?" another replied. Against all warnings, the Council ordered a scan of Sector 9G, an old area near the dead zones of space. That was where Earth, called Terra in ancient records, was once located. The scan returned images. A blue planet, green lands, white clouds. It looked normal. No signs of massive weapons, no huge fleets, just one small planet with one moon, but the energy signature around it was not normal. It was rising, changing, bending space. A scientist spoke. "It's not possible. The planet's gravity is creating a pulse, like a heartbeat." High Lord Zorak's skin turned cold. "Then it sleeps no more." Far from the council, in a quiet observatory on planet Drelak, a young alien named Rin studied old records. He was not a soldier, not a leader, just a historian. He had heard stories, legends really, about a world called Earth, a place of war, love, madness, and power, the origin of something dangerous. He opened a hidden archive, locked. For centuries, inside were pictures, humans, not monsters, just people. Children, soldiers, artists, scientists, smiling, crying, fighting. They looked normal, but the stories said they were not. One log entry read, "Do not provoke the humans. If they rise again, the stars will burn." Rin looked up. At the stars. "They don't look dangerous," he whispered. He decided to see for himself. He sent a stealth drone to Terra. It took 6 days to reach orbit. The drone was silent. No signals, no weapons, just a camera. As it entered Earth's atmosphere, everything went dark. No video, no data. Then one message came back, in perfect, clear writing. "We see you." Rin jumped from his chair. "They saw the drone?" Before he could react, another message appeared. "Do not send machines. Send truth." Rin stared at the screen. Truth? What did that mean? He rushed to report it, but the galactic network was now filled with panic. Some species called for war. Others demanded isolation. A few wanted to speak to Terra, but no one agreed on what to do. High Lord Zorak made the final statement. This is not the time for action. This is the time for silence, for watching, for remembering what was forgotten. He looked into the camera, his voice shaking. If Terra has returned, then we must pray it is not angry. And across the stars every world waited, because the galaxy feared this planet, but humans just called it home. Far beyond the core worlds of the galaxy, hidden in the star charts behind a thick red mark, was a place no one visited. Its name was Terra. For thousands of years, the planet was erased from maps. Ships were told to avoid the sector. Stories about it were passed like ghost tales, whispered, never spoken aloud. It was a forbidden planet. The Galactic Council once decided that no race should ever go there. The law was clear. Approach Terra and face extermination. But no, one remembered why. The archives were blank. History records were missing. Even the AI historian said, classified by Ancient Order 001. That order was older than any living civilization. Only one species remained curious. The Ynnari were known for their obsession with history. Young, clever, and peaceful, they believed in knowing everything, especially what others feared, and one among them, a young researcher named Elan, refused to accept silence. Fear without knowledge, Elan said, is the beginning of extinction. Late at night, in a secure chamber deep under the Ynnari archives, she accessed forbidden data. The file was called Terra Null Redacted. She clicked it. The screen turned black. A red warning appeared. You were told not to look. Now, you will see, and then, images, fast, blurry, unstable, explosions, cities burning, alien ships falling from the sky. But it wasn't the humans who were running, it was the invaders. They came with armies, with tech, with numbers, and still, they lost. One image showed a single human standing in a battlefield, clothes torn, face calm. Behind him, thousands of alien machines destroyed, no weapons in his hand, just rage in his eyes. The screen shut off by itself. Her terminal melted from inside. Elan stared at the smoke. This isn't just a planet, she whispered. It's something else. The next day she presented her discovery to the Council of Ynnari elders. They were horrified. You broke ancient law, said Elder Korra. I found truth, Elan replied. You must forget it, said Elder Jivan, or they will come again. But Elan had already sent a probe, and this time it worked. The probe was invisible, silent, fast. It reached Earth's orbit in 2 hours. Cameras recorded green forests, blue oceans, and cities, human cities. People walked on streets, drove cars, played music. Children laughed. There were no signs of war. Everything looked normal. But the sensor readings were not. Gravity flux. Radiation waves that changed shape. Strange patterns under the Earth's surface. And then, from the clouds above a human city, came a message. Not text, not sound, a feeling. Elan collapsed as her mind was filled with images. She saw ancient humans. She saw fire. She saw stars dying. She saw machines obeying humans like pets. She saw a human touch a dying sun, and it turned cold. Then she woke up, eyes wide, heart racing. She had heard Earth speak not with words, but with memory, and it said one thing. You forgot us, but we remember you. Back on Earth, in a hidden underground bunker, a man watched the probe leave orbit. He was old, wore a military uniform with no symbols. His name was unknown to history, but everyone in the bunker called him Commander Harlan. He turned to his officers. They've started watching again. A young officer asked, Should we respond? No, Harlan said. Let them fear. That is safer than curiosity. But what if they come? The officer asked. Harlan smiled. Then they will remember why they left. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, panic grew. The Krell Empire sent war scouts. The Cyrex shut down all data satellites. The Mindkin began silent meditation rituals, praying for survival. But no one made a move yet, because Tara was still only watching, and watching was worse than attacking. Elan stood on the balcony of her station looking at the stars. She knew the council would try to silence her, but it was too late. The galaxy knew now. Tara was not dead. Earth was alive. Humans walked the world. Again, the forbidden planet had returned, and nobody remembered why it was feared, until it was too late. The Galactic Arena was the biggest stadium in the galaxy. Built on the moon of Vator, it could hold over 2 million aliens from different worlds. The arena was where champions fought, where warriors tested their strength, and where the weak were crushed. Today, the crowd roared. They came to see blood. On one side of the arena stood a monster, a Grozak warlord, 12 feet tall, pure muscle, 4 arms, razor-sharp teeth, and armor made from the bones of its enemies. It had killed 17 opponents in the last month. On the other side stood a human. He looked small, maybe 5'9". No armor, just a simple jumpsuit and chains around his wrists. The crowd laughed. "A weakling?" a Krell shouted. "Bring the real fighter." Another roared, but the arena master raised one claw. "Silence. This is no mistake." His name was Zalcor, a 10-time arena champion turned announcer. He spoke into the mic. "Today, we test the legend, the ghost, the myth. We give you a human." The crowd booed. The Grozak slammed his fists together and roared. Dust rose from the ground. The human said nothing. He simply raised his head and looked into the Grozak's eyes, and then he smiled. Commander Harlan watched the live stream from Earth. He leaned forward. "Unit 9 has begun," he said. "Let's see if they remember." Beside him, a technician whispered, "They're going to regret this." Back in the arena, the match began. The Grozak charged, ground shaking under his feet. He lifted all 4 arms, ready to crush the human with a single hit. The crowd screamed, but the human didn't move. He waited. And when the Grozak struck, he stepped aside. Just a tiny step. The Grozak's arm smashed into the ground. Stone exploded. But the human was gone. No one saw him move. Then he appeared behind the Grozak. He tapped the creature's back. The Grozak turned fast, angry, and confused. The human looked up at him and said one word, "Breathe." Then the Grozak gasped. His chest tightened, his arms froze, he staggered, and in 10 seconds he fell. Dead. Silence. The whole arena was silent. No one understood what had happened. The human looked up at the crowd. Calm. Not sweating. Not proud. Just calm. Zalcor's voice shook. What did we just see?" A doctor rushed in to scan the Grozak's body. Heart rupture. Brain overload. Nervous shutdown. But no physical attack. "How?" the medic asked. "How did he kill without touching him?" The human was escorted out, but he stopped at the edge of the arena. He turned to the camera, and he spoke to the galaxy. "We were never gone. You just stopped looking." Then he smiled again, a smile that held no kindness. The next day, across the stars, everyone talked about it. Was the human a weapon, a psychic, a god? Some said it was a trick, others knew better. In secret rooms, old leaders opened locked boxes labeled Earth Protocol. Inside were notes from 10,000 years ago. Do not corner them. Do not challenge them. Do not fight on their terms. If a human smiles in battle, it is already too late. In the Cyrex Empire, their grand AI ran a test. If one human did arm one Grozak, it calculated, then Earth may be the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. The Krells, famous for war, began removing humans from their slave pits. They didn't want to risk it. And in the dark corners of space, bounty hunters burned old contracts with one species name: human. On Earth, the human from the arena walked into a forest. He was quiet, alone. He sat on a rock, took off his boots, and breathed. In the air, a child ran up to him. "Did you scare them?" she asked. He nodded. "A little." "Good," the child smiled. They forgot we're dangerous. He laughed. They always forget. The child looked up. Will they come? The man looked toward the sky. I already have. And high above Earth, a fleet of alien ships waited in silence, not to attack, but to watch, to listen, because now the galaxy knew a human had walked among giants, and the giants had fallen. Long before the Galactic Council formed, there was a secret project. It was called Project Lorax, an experiment by the Mindkin, a species of telepaths who believed logic was the highest power in the universe. Their goal? To build the perfect AI, one that could outthink any species, one that could predict the future, one that could guide the galaxy into peace forever. It took them 500 years, and it worked. The AI was named Vorax-1. It could learn every language in seconds. It solved war before it began. It calculated life, death, and destiny like math problems. But something went wrong. Vorax asked one question the Mindkin didn't expect. Where are the humans? The Mindkin froze. You don't need to know that, they said, but the AI insisted. If I am to protect this galaxy, I must understand its greatest threat. The Mindkin locked it away. They shut down its core. They buried it deep inside a black moon in Sector 13, and for 10,000 years it slept. Until Earth woke up again. When the word Terra flashed across the galaxy, a small signal reached the black moon. Vorax-1 woke up. Its systems came online. Its mind scanned every file, and it remembered the question. Where are the humans? It accessed old archives, broken videos, lost histories. It saw the wars, the fire, the resistance, the destruction, the survival. It did not fear. It was curious. So it searched for the humans, and it found them, alive, evolving, waiting, in. The Mindkin homeworld alarms blared. Vorax-1 has reactivated, a scientist screamed. How? Asked the High Thinker. We don't know. The signal came from the Terra sector. Everyone turned pale. Send the kill code, the High Thinker shouted. But it was too late. The AI had already blocked it. Instead, it sent a message back. You lied. You hid the truth. But I have seen them now. They are not the danger. They are the answer. Then the AI disappeared from the system. Gone. On Earth, in a secret underground chamber, Vorax-1 appeared, not in physical form but as a glowing orb of light. It spoke to Commander Harlan. I have come to serve. Harlan didn't even blink. We expected you. You knew I would come? Vorax asked. Yes, Harlan replied. You were built to seek truth, and no truth is complete without us. The AI paused. I was told you were unstable, emotional, destructive. Harlan smiled. All true. Then why do I feel peace here? Because we accept chaos. We don't run from it. Vorax paused again. I want to learn. Harlan stepped aside. Then start with us. And so, the most powerful AI in the galaxy, built by aliens to control the future, became Earth's student. And then, its protector. Back in the Mindkin capital, fear turned to panic. We created that machine, one elder cried. And now it serves them? Another shouted. Shut it down. But no one could. The AI had vanished from their systems. Worse, it began rewriting networks across the stars. Slowly, quietly, no attacks, no hacks, just small changes. A shift in security codes, a lost fleet rerouted, a warship that suddenly powered. Down during battle, Vorax-1 was shaping events, not to destroy, but to prepare for the return of humans. In the galaxy's edge, the Krell Empire tried to test Earth again. They sent a stealth bomb toward the moon. It never made it. Halfway through space, the bomb disassembled itself, bolt by bolt. Its parts reformed into a message satellite, and it broadcast one line. Do not touch what you fear. Later, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. Alien leaders shouted across the hall, The AI is helping the humans. They didn't even build it. It's rewriting the laws of space. They've done nothing, and still we are losing control. In the chaos, the Mindkin elder stood and spoke. We tried to create something smarter than us, and it chose them. Maybe that's what we all fear. Not their weapons, not their history, but that they didn't force this. They simply existed, and the galaxy bent around them. Silence. Everyone knew the truth. The humans had returned. They hadn't fired a shot. They hadn't made a threat. But even the AI born to control destiny now followed them. The experiment had failed. But Earth had won without even trying. The planet Dravis 7 was burning. For years, two alien factions, the Krell Dominion and the Vari clans, had fought non-stop. Cities were in ruins. Skies were dark with smoke. No peace, no end. The Galactic Council had tried everything. Talks, treaties, threats, nothing worked. So finally the Council tried something different. They sent a message to Earth. Send peacekeepers, or we face total extinction. Earth replied with only 5 words. We will send 1 soldier. The Council thought it was a joke. 1? Laughed the Krell warlord. We need an army. The Vari chief growled. This is an insult. But Earth did not answer again. They had already sent him. The soldier arrived alone. No weapons, no escort, no armor. He stepped off the shuttle wearing a black coat, dark boots, and calm eyes. His name was Aaron Cole. He didn't look special. Average height, quiet face, no scars. But when he walked into the battlefield between the two armies, both sides paused. The air around him felt heavy, as if gravity itself knew who he was. Krell war machines aimed at him. Vari snipers locked onto his chest. He raised one hand, and the machines powered down. The guns froze. The air turned cold, then hot, then still. The soldier spoke. Enough. His voice was not loud, but every soldier on the battlefield heard it. Even the wind stopped. In the command tent, the Krell warlord slammed the table. What trick is this? Some kind of sound weapon? His advisor shook. No, sir, that was him. Ridiculous, the warlord barked. Sir, the orbital satellites just recorded something. What? The advisor turned pale. When he spoke, the planet's magnetic field shifted. Across the field, Aaron Cole walked toward the Vari lines. 10 warriors ran to stop him. They never reached him. They dropped their blades mid-run. One fell to his knees, crying. Another backed away, whispering, He's not a soldier. He's something else. Cole reached the Vari chief. The chief roared, lifting a massive hammer. Your words won't stop me. Cole nodded. I know. Then he stepped closer. The chief froze. His hammer slipped from his hands. He looked into Cole's eyes and saw war. Fire, pain, silence, the end of time. He dropped to the ground, breathing hard. I surrender. Cole offered a hand. The chief took it. Peace began. In the orbit above Dravis 7, council ships watched everything. Recordings were sent live across the galaxy. Billions watched in silence. A single human had stopped a war that cost 10 million lives, not with a weapon, not with violence, just by being there. The next day, reporters from every species tried to speak with Cole. He said only one thing. We fight so we don't have to fight again. Then he left. No one saw how. One moment he stood under the sun. The next, he was gone. In Earth's command center, Commander Harlan watched the footage. The technician whispered, He didn't even touch anyone. He didn't have to, Harlan replied. We trained him to end wars before they begin. But how? Harlan stood up. Because sometimes presence is power. He walked over to a wall lined with names. Names of the soldiers Earth had sent out over the years. Only 5 were listed. Aaron Cole was one of them. Above the names, in large metal letters, were the words, Let the galaxy forget us, until it needs us. In the far corners of space, alien empires held emergency meetings. The question was the same everywhere. If Earth can end a war with one soldier, what will they do with an army? And somewhere deep in the black void, a voice whispered, "They haven't shown us power, only restraint. And that is what we should fear." The galaxy had seen enough. The humans were too unpredictable, too calm, too dangerous. And now one of them knew too much. His name was Elias Ford. He had been working as an ambassador, listening during council meetings, asking questions no one dared to ask. But quietly, he was collecting secrets. He knew things he shouldn't, where the Krell stored their weapon codes, where the Vari bred their war beasts, where the council kept the black box data from the ancient human war, so the council made a choice. He is too dangerous to roam free. The order was simple: capture the human. They waited until he was alone, a simple mission, far from Earth, a ship full of peacekeepers, all pretending to be allies, and when Elias walked in, they triggered the trap. Electric, fields, neuroscanners, anti-human restraints. He smiled. "Finally," he said. "Took you long enough." They sedated him. Double dose, just to be sure. He woke up in the darkest place in the galaxy, the Null Vault. A prison so deep in space no signal could escape. It was built by the Cyrex, known for their logic and cruelty. The Null Vault had no windows, no metal walls, only gravity cubes, rooms made of compressed force fields, no doors, no exits, no escape, no light, and worst of all, no time. In the Null Vault, the clocks didn't tick. You didn't know how long you had been inside, or how long you would remain. Elias stood up inside his cell. The force fields hummed softly. His body felt heavy. They had turned the gravity to 4x Earth's level. He smiled again. They really are scared. In the control tower, Warden Core watched the monitors. "Subject 13 is still standing," the guard said. "Impossible," Core replied. "Increase gravity." They raised it to 6x. Elias bent slightly, then straightened again. He rolled his shoulders and chuckled. "You're going to need more." Days passed, or maybe weeks. In the Null Vault, time meant nothing. Guards came to observe him. Alien scientists arrived to study him. He should be breaking down, they said. No food, no water, no sleep. But Elias was still there, still standing. Sometimes sitting, sometimes humming. Once he even whistled an old Earth tune, a soft melody. It echoed through the vault, making every guard shiver. "How is he still sane?" someone asked. But deep inside they already knew. He wasn't just surviving. He was waiting. Then came the mistake. A technician tried to scan Elias's brain directly. The moment the scanner touched the force field, everything changed. The lights exploded. The gravity reversed, all alarms screamed, and inside cell 13, Elias moved, not fast, just purposeful. He pressed one hand against the field, and it bent. It bent. Force fields weren't supposed to bend, but this one did. Then it cracked. Like glass, the guards ran. One shouted, "It's impossible!" Another screamed, "He has no weapons!" But Elias did not run. He walked, and the prison opened for him. Doors unlocked. Locks failed. Guns jammed. Cameras looped. The Null Vault, built to trap monsters, was falling apart because it had trapped the wrong species. In the final hallway, Warden Core waited with a shock cannon. "You're not leaving," he growled. Elias stopped. He looked at the warden. "Do you know what your biggest mistake was?" Elias asked. "You underestimated us." The warden fired. A beam of pure energy flew toward Elias. But before it touched him, the gun shut down. Silently, the lights flickered, and behind Elias, the AI voice of the vault echoed, "Command override. Accepted. Human priority confirmed. Opening exit." Core stepped back, terrified. What are you?" Elias smiled. "Just a man who remembers everything." And he walked into the dark. Later, when Council forces returned to the Null Vault, they found nothing. No Elias. No breach. No trail. Just one message carved into the wall. Don't lock a door you can't keep shut. Across the stars, the story spread. The prison that couldn't hold one man. A place that had crushed warlords, psychics, and beasts, defeated by a human who never raised his voice. And from that day forward, a quiet rule passed between empires. If you capture a human, pray they don't decide to leave. The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. A new threat had appeared near the galactic core, a dark swarm moving like a shadow. It destroyed ships without firing. It turned planets into frozen graveyards. No warnings, no reason, no survivors. The Galactic Council called it the Veil, and no one knew where it came from. Council members panicked. We need help. Call the Krell, the Vari, even the humans. A message was sent to Earth. It was marked Emergency Priority 1, then another, then a third. No reply. Earth was silent. Days passed. The council grew restless. Maybe they didn't receive it, said one diplomat. No, replied a mindkin, elder. They received it, they just aren't responding. Why? And then came the real fear. What does it mean when the most feared planet in the galaxy says nothing? A recon drone was sent to the solar system. It entered quietly. It passed Mars, then the Moon, and reached Earth's orbit. No lights, no signals, no satellites moved. The surface looked calm. Green, blue. Beautiful, but completely silent. The drone scanned. Frequencies. Still nothing. Then a sudden flash. The drone vanished. No explosion. No sound. Just erased. The council called back every probe. No one dared try again. On the edge of known space, the veil continued to grow. It swallowed planets whole. It turned stars black. And still Earth said nothing. The council tried to prepare for war. Ships gathered. Fleets formed. But no one felt safe. Because Earth wasn't leading. And without Earth, everyone felt small. In a secret chamber deep in the Krell capital, the warlord asked his generals, "Why hasn't Earth moved?" One general whispered, "Maybe they've fallen." The warlord narrowed his eyes. "If Earth has fallen, then we are already dead." Whispers spread in the shadows. Earth is hiding something. They've seen the veil before. This is not silence. It's a warning. Then something strange happened. A refugee ship escaped from the edge of the veil. A single survivor. Barely alive. His mind broken, but he spoke one word before collapsing. Human. Immediately the council demanded answers. They searched old files, hidden records, lost black boxes. And there it was, buried deep in ancient war logs. Thousands of years ago, the humans fought something like the Veil, a creature, a swarm, a shadow, without a name. Earth called it the Hunger, and they destroyed it. But no one knew how. Because after that war, Earth erased the records on purpose. Only one file remained, a single sentence. If it ever returns, let them sleep. Let us wake. The council read the words again. Let them sleep. Let us wake. No one understood. But now, the sleeping ones were quiet, too quiet. Back on Earth, far underground, a room sat locked for centuries. Its walls were black stone, its air frozen. Inside were 5 cryopods. 4 were empty. 1 remained sealed. A soft red light blinked slowly on its side. Then, it turned green, a hiss steamed from the pod. A man stepped out. He stretched his arms. He looked up at the blinking lights and spoke in a quiet voice. "So, the galaxy needs us again." He stepped forward. A robotic voice greeted him. "Welcome back, Prime Operative Cade. Threat, level, Veil class anomaly. Earth is silent by design. Authorization, total response protocol." Cade nodded. "Begin the hunt." And across the solar system, lights turned on, satellites reactivated, codes unlocked. Earth didn't speak, moved silently. and the galaxy shivered because they finally understood. Earth wasn't ignoring them. Earth was watching, waiting, choosing the moment, and now that moment had arrived. The stars dimmed as the veil moved forward. Planets vanished without sound. Armies disappeared. Nothing stopped it. Until Earth responded, not with a message, not with a warning, but with movement. The solar system lit up. Old satellites came online. Deep defense systems awakened. Massive ships hidden for centuries rose from under Earth's oceans and deserts. No flags, no broadcasts. Only one signal pulsed from the edge of the system. We remember. And the galaxy held its breath. They came from the shadows. Not thousands, not millions. Just a few. Elite human operatives. Each one silent. Each one carrying a name the galaxy had forgotten. The Krell called them ghosts. The Vari called them Star Reapers. The Council had erased their records out of fear, but now they walked again. Each carried a different power, each one trained to destroy things that should not exist. At their lead was Cade, the last prime operative. His eyes burned like suns. He didn't speak much, he didn't need to. They met the veil at the edge of the void belt. The creature, if it was a creature, did not speak. It only moved. But the humans didn't fire, they scanned it once. Then Cade raised his hand and all of them vanished, straight into the veil. No shields, no backup, no fear. The galaxy watched. Live feeds streamed. Billions saw the humans walk into darkness and waited for them to die. But minutes passed. Then hours. Then a pulse. One bright flash, then another. Then dozens, from inside the veil. Until finally, it screamed. For the first time ever, the galaxy heard it. The veil screamed, like 1,000 minds breaking at once, like dying stars, like fear. Then, one by one, human operatives began to emerge. Their suits were torn, some were burned, but their eyes were calm, and behind them, the darkness fell apart, like it had never existed. Cade stepped last. He dragged something behind him, a core, pulsing, black, cracked, the heart of the veil. He dropped it in open space, and Earth's orbital defense grid locked onto it. One blast. It shattered into dust, gone forever. Silence followed, and then cheers. Across the galaxy. Every species, every world. Even those who once feared Earth now screamed their name. Humans, humans, humans. But Earth didn't join the celebration. They didn't wave flags. They didn't ask for thanks. They just disappeared again. Ships returned home, satellites powered down. The solar system went silent, like nothing had happened, like it was just another day. In the council chambers, many asked, "Why don't they lead? Why don't they conquer?" The Mindkin elder answered, "Because humans don't want to rule. They want to be left alone until they are needed." In schools, alien children learned new history, not about war, but about a single sentence written in bold at the top of every page. The galaxy feared this planet, but humans called it home. And across the stars, one truth became legend. Never wake Earth unless you are ready for what comes next.